You know these three trucks pushed past 300,000 miles on the odometer with three completely different automatic transmissions underneath. And the question is, which one got there without handing its owner a massive bill along the way? Ford's 10-speed, GM's 8 and 10-speed family, Ram's ZF 8-speed, three different engineering philosophies. By the time you hit 300,000 miles, the person left holding the invoice ends up with a completely different outcome depending on which one they're driving. Before we go any further, there's something you need to know. Nobody can claim these three trucks were owned by the same people or driven under identical conditions all the way to 300,000 miles. That test doesn't exist. You'll see plenty of people online claiming they've done it. Not one of them has a single source to back it up. But there's a better place to look. First, federal recall filings that involve actual safety risk, technical service bulletins covering recurring failures, and forum service logs from hundreds of owners tracking their own repair bills. Put all of that together and the full picture comes into focus. By the end of this video, you'll know which of these three transmissions holds up best at high mileage and roughly what it costs you when it doesn't. There's one more detail I want you to wait for. It was one of the most argued about topics I found in the forums. It gets at the gap between what it costs to keep a truck properly maintained at 100,000 miles versus what it costs to neglect it. That gap tells you more than most of what you've been told before. I'll get to it. So why do these three end up so different? Because the way each one fails traces back to an engineering decision each company made almost 15 years ago. Here's the thing you need to understand first. There was a time when a transmission's only job was shifting gears. The reason it's more complicated today is that manufacturers needed more gears to hit the targets they were being pushed toward. Fuel economy, CO2 emissions, and smoother shifts because more ratios means the engine spends more time in its efficient RPM range. But more gears means more clutch packs, more solenoids, and a torque converter that has to lock up earlier and hold tighter than ever, just to squeeze out one more mile per gallon. Every one of those additions is a new place for something small to go wrong. Let's start with the Ford F-150, the 10R80, the transmission sitting under most of your trucks right now. The 10R80 was co-developed with GM and launched in 2017. It's still a solid design overall, but it had real growing pains in its early production years. 10 ratios, wide gear spread, decent shift quality on paper. The complaint that shows up most consistently in owner reports is harsh or delayed engagement, especially from a cold start or coming out of a stop. Ford addressed this directly in Technical Service Bulletin 2.4-2 2.54, which covers harsh and delayed shifting on 10R80 units built on or before August 15, 2022. The fix involves reprogramming the transmission control module and, in some cases, replacing the main control valve body. Separate from the shift quality complaint, there's a hardware issue too. In 2025, Ford recalled remanufactured 10R80 units, just over 34,000 vehicles affected, because of a bearing that was left out during the remanufacturing process, which can cause a mismatch between the park pal and the parking gear. That matters especially for high mileage owners because a remanufactured transmission is exactly what you end up buying when your original one fails out of warranty. There's also an ongoing lawsuit, a class action filed in 2025, alleging sudden lunging, harsh shifting, and drivetrain vibration tied to the transmission's clutch and valve body design. I want to be clear here, that's an allegation in a filed lawsuit, not a proven finding. A well-maintained unit can realistically pass 150, 200, even 300,000 miles, depending on service history, usage conditions, and production run. 10R80 owners are familiar with the hesitant shifts, the transmissions replaced under warranty, and the bearing that got left out during remanufacturing. If you're wondering whether you need a fluid change at 30,000 miles or 150,000, just asking the question already puts you ahead of the high mileage owner who's never changed it at all, because if the problem persists after a fluid change, you're looking at needing an actual diagnosis first. Some specialists and the factory itself point to 150,000 miles. But changing the fluid at 30,000 miles and having the transmission fail anyway doesn't mean the fluid change was the problem. If any of this feels confusing, the safer call is to base your maintenance on your actual usage conditions. GM's 8-speed, the 8L90 along with the 10L80 and 10L90, co-developed with Ford. All three 10-speed automatics came with genuinely advanced features, but all three also drew complaints, technical service bulletins, and quality revisions in their early production years. In this country, when people think of the 8L90, the first thing that comes to mind is torque converter shutter. It shows up in the vehicle as a light vibration, like driving over a rough patch of asphalt. It typically happens between 40 and 60 miles an hour, and it's been going on since these units launched around 2015. GM's own engineering bulletin, PIE 0353, issued in 2016 for Silverado and Sierra models with the 8L9, O describes the exact symptom: shake or shudder under light acceleration or at steady cruising speed. The fix GM revised repeatedly under different bulletin numbers over the years was a full fluid exchange, moving owners off the original Dexron 6 fill and onto a different formulation, Mobile 1 LVATFHP. In other words, GM changed its own fluid specification. Here's what's worth sitting with. This fix works for a lot of owners. At the same time, for a meaningful number of them, the shudder comes back once the truck's powertrain warranty has expired. There's ongoing litigation. One of the cases is Shelton versus General Motors, alleging that GM knew about a hardware weakness in these units and relied on fluid exchanges as the primary remedy instead of addressing it at the parts level. Again, this is an allegation under review, not something a jury has decided. Between 2014 and 2020, a total of 13 bulletins were issued, and not all of them were about shudder specifically. That count includes bulletins covering software, adaptation learning, diagnostics, and harsh shifting more broadly. And here's another detail worth noting: the Silverado and Sierra are among the best-selling pickups in the country, selling in the hundreds of thousands, while the Corvette sells in the thousands. So complaints naturally look more concentrated in trucks. But this isn't a truck-only problem, and it isn't caused by towing abuse either. The same 8-speed and 10-speed units show up in Camaros, Corvettes, and Cadillacs too, which tells you the core issue, regardless of vehicle type, comes down to the torque converter clutch itself. Next up, a genuinely contentious Ram transmission. Ram's 8-speed is built by ZF in Germany, the same company that supplies BMW, Audi, and Chrysler's own minivans, using the same core architecture across different brands. Mechanically, the planetary gear design is efficient, shifts quickly and smoothly, and locks the torque converter earlier to keep fuel consumption down. It's a transmission with a genuine reputation for durability. Where things get complicated is the maintenance guidance, because there are two conflicting official documents in play. Here's the most debated part of the ZF8HP. Stellantis takes the position that the factory fluid is good for the life of the vehicle. American transmission specialists don't agree. ZF, the company that actually designed the unit, publishes its own service guidance, and depending on application and duty cycle, the published figures fall roughly between 50,000 and 93,000 miles, shortened further under heavy towing or high heat conditions. These two documents give owners two different answers to the same question, and they can't both be right. One accounts for long-term, heavy use conditions. The other was written to match a warranty period. The result? Owners who follow ZF's guidance and change the fluid and filter somewhere between 60,000 and 80,000 miles report a transmission that's still shifting cleanly at 200, 250, even 300,000 miles in the forums. Owners who follow the lifetime transmission fluid approach are more likely to run into harsh shifts and low gear shudder right around the point the warranty runs out. There's a mechanical explanation for this too. The fluid in an 8 horsepower isn't just lubricant, it's also the hydraulic fluid that runs the valve body and the working fluid the clutch packs depend on for clean engagement. If maintenance is neglected, the ZF8HP can start wearing before it ever gets the chance to show what it's actually capable of. To be fair here, ZF's own hardware failure rate is low, and the hardware itself is genuinely durable. But it's a transmission whose electronics and hydraulics are sensitive to neglected maintenance. Now here's the part I actually want you to wait for. The math comes out roughly the same across all three of these transmissions. Whether it's a Ford, a Chevrolet/GMC, or a Ram, doesn't shift the picture much. A scheduled fluid and filter service, whether that's GM's recommended transmission maintenance procedure or a ZF 8-speed fluid change done to the manufacturer's actual recommendation, typically runs somewhere between $400 and $900, depending on whether it's done at an independent transmission shop or a dealer. But once the fluid loses its properties, wear sets in, and the problem is allowed to progress, you're no longer looking at a simple service bill. Once the valve body, torque converter, and clutch packs get pulled into it, worst case, you're looking at a full transmission replacement. For repairs at that level, independent shop costs typically land somewhere between $4,500 and $7,500. Parts, labor, and towing can push that number higher or lower, depending on the condition of the vehicle. These aren't small differences. Knowing your maintenance timing can save you from a major repair bill. This applies across all three transmissions. I don't want to leave you thinking any of these three is a bad transmission, because that's not what the evidence actually shows. Each one has a handful of documented weak points. Ford's valve body and shift calibration on certain builds, GM's torque converter clutch and fluid formulation, Ram's maintenance messaging undercutting genuinely solid German engineering. None of these weak points are a problem if you know about them before the mileage catches up to you. If you already own one of these 3 trucks, here's exactly what I'd do, in order. First, run your VIN against the manufacturer's recall and TSB database. It takes almost no time and it's free, and it'll tell you whether your specific truck falls into any of the weak points I just covered. Second, get the transmission fluid changed on a mileage schedule, regardless of what the owner's manual says about lifetime fill for all 3 of these units. Somewhere in the 50,000 to 60,000 mile range matters. Third, if you notice a shudder, hesitation, or harsh shift that wasn't there before and it keeps happening, get a diagnostic scan for stored codes the earlier any of these 3 problems get caught, the less painful the bill. If you're buying used, don't shop by badge, shop by service history. A truck with documented, reasonably spaced fluid and changes on any of these 3 transmissions is a fundamentally smarter buy than the same truck with no records and a seller telling you it's never needed anything. For the repair or replace call, think in real numbers instead of assumptions. Get a written quote for the transmission work, then find out what the truck is actually worth right now in its current condition. If the repair costs less than roughly 1/3 of that number and the rest of the drivetrain is sound, it's generally the better financial call to repair rather than replace the whole truck. So, as we wrap up, which one actually comes out ahead at 300,000 miles? Based on the data, Ram's ZF unit has the strongest hardware reputation of the 3, undercut only by its own maintenance messaging, and it's the best transmission in this comparison. Ford's 10R80 is a genuinely solid design with a narrower, better documented set of build-specific issues than people assume from the forums. GM's 8 and 10-speed family has the longest, most consistent paper trail of the 3, which sounds bad, but it also means the fix. The fluid exchange is well understood and well proven when it's done proactively instead of reactively. Now I want to know about your truck. Tell me the transmission, the mileage it's at right now, and whether the fluid's ever been changed that way. Everyone in the comments can see how the road's actually been going for real owners. If you want to catch the next one, subscribe and I'll see you soon.